Hello folks, Dave. This is my The National summary. My first National, had a great time, went with my oldest son, who is a collector of sorts, getting more into vintage and so forth. So good for him. But we had a great time. We traveled on Wednesday, got there mid-afternoon, but decided not to go to the show, but picked up our VIP passes on Thursday morning. Had a great time, got into the show, and went down the first aisle. And first card I bought was this 1971 Maravich card. It wasn't on my radar, actually. A spontaneous splurge buy, but I'd always wanted a Maravich. This is a great card, not his rookie card, but I thought this was good enough for me. It's a 6, and I didn't really care about the grade, just the card looks really nice. So I got that card as my first card. And the very last card I bought was this 1957 Topps replica card of Eddie O'Brien. Eddie O'Brien was a twin of Johnny O'Brien. They played on the Pittsburgh Pirates in the mid-50s together, from Seattle University, and this was an autograph card of him. So I picked that up. That was kind of cool. A couple of the autographs I got during the show, not spectacular, but I saw one dealer had a tab for Supersonics, and this was in there. I think it said $10, which is, I think, for an autograph of an all-time great. And he saw my Seattle hat and said, you can have it for $5. You'll probably enjoy it more than anybody else. So got a Jack Sikma card to add with my other Seattle Supersonics autographs. And, of course, the great Cody Pickett, Washington Husky quarterback. Of course, joking, but autograph for, I have no idea. I think my son picked it up for me. On Thursday evening, we went to the YouTube get-together at Shoeless Joe's. These are just some of the people I met there, people who gave me something to take away. John has come up with another super awesome card. That's really great. Wade Boggs fan. I met T, the sports card stacker. First time I met him, I didn't know his channel beforehand, but I'm subscribing now. And of course, Drew with Clean Cheap Shots. Great sticker that Scott at Reindeer Studio designed for him. And then Scott at Stuke's Baseball Cards and Collectibles. Curiosities, actually. Sorry, Scott. And it has a great Roger Maris photo on the back. So cool. I appreciate all those. And now let me show you my main pickups. Start with some football, just to get those out of the way for you. These are 1960 Fleer cards. I'm collecting those. I collected some as a boy. They're all kind of no-name folks, more or less. So I'm about 56% down with that set, and so I've got like 46 more cards to go. Some 1961 Topps. This is the AFL side of things. Billy Cannon, I believe, was a Heisman Trophy winner. And from LSU, and Ron Neary. Just a couple of cards. I am now down to needing 11 cards in that set. They're all from the AFL side. Also on the AFL side, these are 1962 Fleers, and I found a dealer who completed my set, dug around some boxes in the back of his booth, and now completed all my cards I need for the 1962 Fleer AFL card set. I also added to my Les Richter set. This is a 1952 Bowman card, the large size. They have another one, smaller size. For whatever reason, they made two sizes. Now I have both of those. And this is a 1960 Bell card that I'd never seen before, added to my collection. I am the number 2 TCDB Les Richter card collector now. And then finally I got this one because they had such a cool last name, and the card is cool looking. So I bought that. I really went to the National this year to pick up cards to complete my boyhood sets of the late 50s and early 60s. I showed you those of football that I picked up. The baseball ones that I picked up are 1958 tops, 59 tops, 60 tops, and 1962 tops. And in the process of doing that, I picked up several Hall of Famers. Here are Hall of Famers that I picked up that I have one card of each here. I got 2 cards each of Stan Musial, Harmon Killebrew, and Don Drysdale, and 4 cards featuring Hank Aaron, and 3 cards of Willie Mays, including the Coup de Grace 1958 tops card that I needed for my 58 set. This is my 1958 tops pickups. There's the Willie Mays and the other cards I just showed you. All Hall of Famers needed for that. I am now 7 cards short of completing that set, which has a total of 495 cards. Here are some cards from the 59 set that I picked up. You can see some All-Star cards there on the left. In the middle is a card featuring Roberto Clemente. And on the right is the Drysdale and Killebrew cards, along with 2 high number cards. I am now 8 cards short of completing the 1959 top set out of 572 cards. I picked up 9 cards toward completing my 1960 top set featuring Stan Musial and 8 other All-Star cards. I am now 1 card short of completing that 572 card set, and that would be the Mickey Mantle All-Star card. I looked at the show. I saw just a few of them, not a lot. I had priced it out after Strongsville this year at maybe $175. I looked up comps on my way out to the show, and I was thinking, well, maybe it's gone up to $250. And in reality, the ones that I saw were $325, $350. So the Mantle card prices seem to be skyrocketing. At least that's what I looked at. I'm really happy to have picked up 5 1960s Mickey Mantle cards at Strongsville. As I looked at those same cards that I purchased there, they were now much, much more expensive. I picked up these 17 cards toward completing my 1962 set. I am now 4 cards short. I purchased one off of eBay since coming home, so 4 more cards out of 598. Earlier this month, I showed my 1962 Topps stamp book. I was about 13 stamps short of completing that one, and I thought maybe I'll see if I can find those stamps. I found 2 or 3 dealers that had them, including one upstairs, so I'm glad I went up there and fought the crowds and skinnied through the aisles. I picked up about half of the needed stamps there and found others at some dealers downstairs. I also worked to find cards that fit into my player runs and found these Dick Allen cards. I collect Hank Thompson cards and found these at the show. These 2 Bobby Thompson cards. I also collect Vern Stevens, think he's highly underrated. Compare him to Pee Wee Reese and Phil Rizzuto, and I think you have a case for Vern Stevens. I believe I bought this Earl Torgeson card for my son. However, I forget. I think it's a really cool looking card. Earl Torgeson is from the area that we live, his hometown, Snohomish, Washington, only a handful of miles away. If he watches this video, I'll give it to him. If not, I think it may stay in my collection. During that one trip upstairs, I found these pilot cards. They're O-Pee-Chees that I am trying to complete those for 1969, and these are 1970s. At another table, I saw this Don Mincher peeking out among all the other cards. 1970 Kellogg's card. So I picked up both the Don Mincher and the Tommy Hopper cards. Deeper in that stack of 1970 Kellogg's cards was this Frank Howard, Hondo, Boog Powell, and Dick Allen. Here is a 1953 Bowman Sam Jethro. He was one of the first black players to play in the major leagues, crossing over from the Negro Leagues, and in 1950 he was the Rookie of the Year. Also got these 1961 Fleer baseball greats. That completes that set. 154 cards in that set. I will do a video on those sometime, but cool to finish that set. And finally, to a very slow set build, are these 1949 Bowmans. I am only collecting the commons at this point. Can't afford the Jackie Robinsons and Warren Spahns and the like, but these will do for now, as this was my birth year. Just as a wrap up to my experiences at the National, like I said, we had a good time. We walked the floor. I think I saw, I don't know how much, probably missed some stuff, but probably saw 90% of the floor and the floor upstairs. It may be advantageous to do upstairs first since it was so crowded. Doesn't seem like they fixed it from last year to this year, so go early. Newer dealers are up there, I think, that haven't been in before, so there could be some things that would be interesting up there. On Thursday, we entered the VIP entrance and just went straight ahead down that aisle, and the AC was just cranking there. I was very cold. I didn't take my normal pullover. I didn't have a backpack to store it in, so I was a little chilly. I walked down that aisle and back the other one, and I told my son, I'm going to go buy a sweatshirt at the booth. And I bought a National sweatshirt for $60. Just walking the floor, I didn't see a lot of YouTubers there. I saw a handful here and there. Jake, Mookie, Sammy, Greg. I'm not sure I saw anybody else. If I did and said hi, I apologize for forgetting. It seems like perhaps a better way to get together with YouTubers is make contact beforehand, find out what they're doing. The YouTube get-together on Thursday night was great. Saw many YouTubers there. That was fun, and met a few folks that I hadn't met before. The next morning, Drew, Clean Cheap Shots, texted me, and we got together for a bite to eat at lunch on Friday. I'm no expert on how to move about the booths and get the cards you're looking for and what you need. I kind of moved quickly and just kind of saw what each table was about, but I'm certain I could have been much more efficient. I think the difference between the National and, say, Strongsville is, of course, the size. You see many of the same dealers at Strongsville that set up at the National. But if you're a vintage person, Strongsville has the vintage end to end and not so much of the newer cards and so forth. As many have said, wear some good shoes. I think I did pretty well. My son did some sitting here and there, and he kind of was just burnt out with the whole thing. So we maybe left a couple hours early on Saturday and moseyed down to the airport, catching lunch first. In terms of cost, we flew from Seattle to Chicago and then split all the cost in Chicago, lodging, Ubers, meals, show tickets. In the end, I think our cost per each, splitting accommodations and so forth, was $1,300 to $1,400. Of course, that buys a lot of cards, but that is an experience, and you'll have to judge for yourself whether costs are worth it or not. The thing for me about Strongsville is that I can multitask there. The last couple of years I've gone to Detroit and Toronto, which is relatively close to Cleveland,
and was able to pick up games there so I could punch out the stadiums I need to see to complete all of them, and then make a short drive, relatively so, to Virginia to see my son and his family, which I cannot easily do from Chicago. In the end, it was quite an experience to see. Was I glad I went? Yes, absolutely. Am I going to go again next year or some other time in the future? Not sure. Am I going to Strongsville again? Probably so. We'll have to see. I appreciate you all watching this, tuning in, and y'all come back now. Here?